I get numbers for the entirety of the ICE organization. I don't have a breakout for HSI versus ERO versus management, etc.
Are the numbers being pulled from some other integrated systems?
Yes, good question. The numbers come from the components financial system. So each component uses one of the 10 different general ledger systems that I described. Those 10 systems will have all the granularity the component needs for its day-to-day execution, the full line of accounting. You know, what office, what sub-office, what function, what strategic goal, etc., etc., object class, sub-object class. That data on a monthly basis is fed up into tier and consolidated at the department level for reporting purposes. So in many cases, if you're at a component, to get the level of detail you need, you probably need to be pulling it from your general ledger system and not from tier. Hence, it is very important, and this was at one time a problem in the department, that the components general ledger reconcile to tier. If the two are not reconciled, you have a big audit finding right there.
And can you speak to the two internal control issues?
Sure. Internal control weaknesses in the areas of financial reporting, proper and information technology. Financial reporting, a couple other things the auditors have noted, and this is not new, these are long-running issues. In many cases, the components have to do a large number of manual journal entries or manual adjustments to their financial data due to system limitations. We have a large dollar value of estimates in this department for actuarial liabilities, pension liabilities, the Secret Service and Coast Guard. Some concern over the processes and controls over those. Those would be some of the key areas in financial reporting. In information technology, we have various IT system weaknesses. To give a few examples, audit logging, so the older systems don't have a good record over who made what entry on what date, so that runs a risk, theoretical risk, but a risk nonetheless. You've got issues in some cases with access control. This is a common one. A person leaves the organization or they move to another job, but their access to that particular system is not turned off. So they could still go in and perform a transaction for which they're no longer in a job that requires them to do that. So that would be a common area in IT. In many cases, we're dealing with older systems that simply don't have the layers of control that are required under modern audit standards. That answer the question?
It does, thank you.
Thank you. And if you really want more detail, you can read the audit report in the AFR.
Just to piggyback on her question about PPA, have you seen much changes from one administration to the next in terms of additional program activity, project activity changes for the department?
It's not really, we haven't really seen it, it's not driven by the administration near as much as it's dealt by and driven by. One is what we're doing and how we believe the financial resources and all should be basically categorized and compacted inside a component. The other thing is, though, the Congress actually is the one who is going to appropriate by that PPA, and that is the controls that they use for many different reprogrammings and transfers. And so it's basically a negotiation between the department and the Congress. OMB does play in that role too, but that's how we see PPAs. You don't see a lot of changes to PPAs. So.
Thank you.
Far in the back.
Yes, hi. I was wondering, why is it that it's called OMBJ for our budget request? Through the process, we have the request to OMB.
Sure.
Then CASBAC goes.
I have two.
And then the CJ, congressional justification. And I noticed when I've talked to some other colleagues before, when I asked about the congressional justification, they keep thinking only of OMBJ. I'm like, no, that's the request. Okay.
Well, they're both requests. One is a request to the administration, the other is a request to the Congress.
Right.
And so this is the only place I've ever been that actually differentiates between the two with different names. And so we differentiate, the one that goes to OMB is the OMB justification. It goes in September. The one that goes to the Congress in February, we call the congressional justification. So you've got the OMBJ, CJ, just the way it's done. No other reason except to differentiate between the two.
Okay, because I don't really see CJ a lot.
You should see the CJ,
I see.
because that's CJ is the only one that goes public. That's the one in February that goes public. OMBJ is just between the department and OMB.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm asking, why do we add the J? Because apparently because of the J at the end of OMBJ,
It's doing the same thing the congressional justification is doing. It is justifying the administration and the department's request to OMB. It's one reason.
What is the plan for tier within the new system modernization effort? Is it going to be
Sure.
in place?
The question was, what is the plan for TIER within the new financial systems modernization effort? Right now, the department has an effort underway to modernize its financial systems and reduce the number of general ledger systems. As I said, we have 10. Unfortunately, we're not anytime in the near future going to get down to one general ledger system. If we did, then we could do away with the tier system and just use the one general ledger to do all of our reporting. Because of the fact that we'll always have, or at least for as far as the eye can see, have multiple general ledger systems, the tier system will remain around as the consolidation system, the system of record. So the components that right now are moving to a modernized financial system, CWMD is already there. TSA is expected to go at the beginning of fiscal 20, and then the Coast Guard in fiscal 21. They will continue to generate and produce a tier file, submit it to tier. Hopefully it will be a much less involved process than the current, frankly, manual effort that the Coast Guard has to go through. But hopefully it will be a much easier process, but they'll still be producing and submitting a tier file just as they are today. And tier will remain our system of record for the foreseeable future. We do have kind of a back office thing in our office, some efforts underway to modernize the tier system. Just this year, we expanded the general ledger field from 4 digits to 6 to comply with the new 6-digit SGL requirement. And we're also working to do basically a hardware upgrade, looking to move tier potentially to a cloud environment in the next couple of years, subject to the availability of funds. Long answer, but the bottom line is tier will continue to be around for the foreseeable future.
One question, if nobody else has one, and I throw it up to any or all of you. Could you discuss how the department represents the components on Capitol Hill on both policy and/or appropriation issues?
Well, John, go ahead and answer that, please.
He does it very well.
No, actually we let the components in most cases represent themselves, and we're with them. In most cases, so for example, when we were doing something across the department, like the common appropriation structure, the department took the lead and led that effort and had the components accompanying us, helping us sell the story and why we needed a common appropriation system. When it looks like other specific issues and policies that deal with a component specific, it is my job to understand, it's the desk officers on my team to understand those requirements and to be able to weigh in for the component, but it is the component's job to carry the water and to sell those requirements. But it's a partnership. What we don't want is the component selling something that the department doesn't buy, and the department selling something that the component doesn't buy. So we work a real good partnership. We stay in touch with each other between the congressional offices and our office to build that partnership and a common awareness and understanding.
Okay, last call. Well, I want to thank Mike, Jeff, and Alan. Thank you, very informative. That's really the nuts and bolts of what we do. 2 administrative notes. One, it's come to our attention that people are seeking the slides. The slides will be posted by tomorrow.